I went out on the balcony and I spent some extensive time in prayer while out on the balcony. I was on the back of the ship in the aft where I get to see the water, the tail. I'm in the very tail of the ship and I get to see the water as it's going by. One of the things that I went out and did was I spent some extensive time just out in prayer talking to God. And I went into in this real deep, sincere place of prayer. And the place that I went into was about communication. I prayed for the world regarding communication. For the world, I said, God, if you could use me for anything, I said, there, maybe many things that you can use me to do, and I give you permission to do every one of them. I said, but if you would just hear me, please, on this night, please, hear me as I cry out for the world regarding communication, effective communication, to be able to talk about things, to be able to work through things. I feel like we as people, and maybe I'm not sure about other cultures, as far as like, I'm not sure about Chinese, Vietnamese, I'm not sure about the Africans, but I am certain about Americans because that is predominantly where I lived and spent my time. Americans do not know how to effectively communicate. And it seems as though it could be something that you think that you would, oh well, I'm gonna do it when I get grown. You know how many times kids have said, when I get grown, I'm gonna do this, and when I get grown, I'm gonna do that. But you still be locked up in that childhood trauma. You still locked up in that childhood terror that happened to you, and it's still a major part of what's going on with you even in the adult life, because the trauma just carries on over into the adult life. And so I really, I want to talk about, I want us to talk about that, and maybe y'all can share some of your insights on what you think the issue, or either tell your story about why has it been so difficult. What is it that makes it so difficult for you to have effective communication? First off, I'm going to start off with this right here. One of the things that I have found out in having conversation with someone is their ability to communicate, or lack of communication, came from a place of being told to shut up when they were a child. You do what I say. And they wasn't able to ask any questions. So there was this terror, this fear that was placed on the inside of them, that put them in a place of where they think that anybody that serves in any type of authority, that they can't question anything. They can't talk, as it relates to anything, that they just have to go along with that because I said so. You can't ask me anything. And so and I can see that as a valid place. And just so y'all know, I'm gonna put two women's meetings. I'm calling them women's meeting, but I think one of them is gonna be for the general public. But I am gonna do something this month. I'm gonna put two meetings on the table that I'm going to have, that are going to be very effective, just for y'all to know that I gotta hit it in the month of March, and I'm home for the month of March. So let's get it. But I realize that is an actual absolute thing. And I don't think people really understand how damaging and how much trauma takes place, and that age doesn't negate that trauma. Age doesn't take away that trauma. You literally can be 40, 50 years old, still sitting in the midst of some trauma that happened to you at 5 and 6 years old. It doesn't matter because you got older. If it's not dealt with, then it's still residing there. It's still sitting there. And so effective communication is a lack as it relates to things. I don't believe, and this is my belief, I don't believe that people should be scared to talk to you if y'all are in covenant relationship. If y'all have a covenant, and when I say covenant relationship, I mean covenant, which means it's the shedding of blood. We've literally decided that we are one in some type of capacity. You are my friend, I am your friend. You are my wife, I am your husband. You are my pastor, and I am your sheep. However, there are covenant relationships, and anytime in covenant relationship, there shouldn't be any type of fear regarding things. Just to tell y'all what happened to me, some of you are aware of the fact that there is a particular person that I've been chit chatting with. And before I got ready to leave on this cruise right here, I was in a literal place in a bad place with God and telling them that I was going to be leaving again. And at the time, I thought about it, but I really didn't take too much, I didn't think about it in the capacity that I should. It wasn't until God began to talk to me yesterday. I went out on my back porch, and that's like the hangout spot for me now. And I'm chilling, dealing with things. I was out there, and the Lord began to show me and look, and it was like, that was a sign to you, Delphine. It's like, well, yeah, that was a sign, because you should not ever be in a position as to where you are afraid to discuss something with someone if y'all are in covenant relationship. You shouldn't. There should be no type of fear, no zone of fear for you to have any type of communication. Their lines should always be open. Why? One, because you accept them for who they are, and two, they accept you for who you are. So the lines of communication should always be able to be open. And I was in a place where I was like literally terrified to even say that I am going to be gone. Well, go back to, well, let's talk about what triggered me to be that way. I was triggered to be hesitant to talk about me traveling and leaving, because it was thrown in my face about, me being gone all the time. Like, what you got going on? And that, all those little type of things was being said. So what that did was that put me in a position of where, okay, I can't say this, Oh boy, if I say this right here, this is really finna start up some stuff. Okay, so all right, so let me show y'all what happened yesterday. I actually talked to him yesterday, and I'd be dog if he didn't light me up about me being gone. He had to put it in the conversation. He brought it up in the conversation. Another cruise, huh? Another one. Hmm. Mm. That's how you say another cruise, huh? Another one. See, and that was pretty much, and at the moment when he said it, I literally felt, myself, and I grabbed and brought myself back up to, up to speed, up to par with it. It was like, yeah, another one. Another one. And then my sarcasm wanted to kick in, but I didn't do it. Y'all would be proud of me to know that I didn't do it, because I can get you if I want to. Now I can shut you down if I want to, but I didn't do it. Kudos to Delphine for not doing that at that time. I got him last night though, but I didn't get him right then. So, but I didn't say anything. I just, because I could have said, yeah, and it's 5 more I'm booked, so that would have just really sent it off in the orbit, but I didn't say anything. I didn't, because it would have came sarcastically. So I realized that this is something that has the potential to limit or stifle effective communication, Delphine. What do you do? What do you do? I want y'all to talk to me. I'm using me as an example, just to give us a jumping board, a springboard to bounce off of. What do you do? What? And I'm not saying that for y'all to tell me, to give me ideas of how to handle him, because I pretty much God got that for me. I'm saying in a context of us walking through these things and talking through these things. What What would be your thoughts on that? Of how would you handle that? Because clearly there was an issue as it relates to communication. There is something there to try to stop communication. It didn't want me to be free.
Good morning. I think you should seek God and pray about the situation first. And then I think once you hear from God, I think you should go forward and just pray that the person receive what you're saying in a good faith and a good tone, and not feel threatened by you from what you're saying or you're bringing to them. Because if there is a issue, you should be able to talk about it, and no, you should not be afraid. Yes, as a child growing up, I even also encountered things that I wanted to say, but it was said not to say it. So it does affect people, not only just as a child, but even into your adulthood, to the point where you're not sure if you should or shouldn't say things. But now it's totally different. You just go to God and let Him lead you in the direction of your conversation and how it should be. That's my take on
it. Okay, so basically you're saying the relationship is worth trying to keep, because you have an option when there is no effective communication. You have an option. I'm not sure if y'all noticed that, but you have an option when there is no effective communication somewhere. There is an option to either close it out or to try to work it out. So based on what you just said, Nee, what are were you saying, since you said pray about it and allow the Lord to tell you, how to instruct how to do it, are you saying continue pursuing the relationship?
Seek God and let Him lead you in the direction you should go. And if there's no communication there, after trying, I think if it's not being delivered back to you, why put an effort into it? Because it takes two when it comes to communication. You can't do it on your own.
Okay. All right. Anybody else want to give your take on it?
I would, like she said, just pray about the communication. Pray for God to open the door for it to be a conversation. Because just with even speaking on things that I'm going through, it's like sometimes you don't know how to even go about the conversation, especially if you haven't dealt with it. And it's one of those things, like, it has to be some healing take place. And if it's meant for that situation for it to be, and if God is in the middle of it, and if it's whatever the purpose is, it might just be for some healing to take place. So just for me, I would say it has to be some communication talked about it, because if not, you'll still have to keep dealing with it. So just talk about it, and not only it might not even be for him, it could be just for you, or both in the situations. It's like if it keep coming up as something that has happened to make a person feel like, oh, there it is, it's something else, because a lot of people don't understand freedom.
Okay.
And learning.
Go ahead, Toya.
And to learn freedom, so it's like, you have to just sit down and be like, okay, really, what is the issue? Not even concerning you. It's just, okay, him, okay, I'm scared for whatever reason. Why is it put me in a place where I feel like I can't say anything? And why is it it's in a situation where he feel like he got to say this to me? So let's talk about it and see what's causing both of us to get in this fix, because you'll mess around and cheat yourself out of a situation, or cheat yourself out of something that you're supposed to get from the other individual, because you're just looking at self.
Okay, so I want y'all to listen. I want y'all to listen and hear. Track it. Let's track it. Believe it or not, now this is a very, very, very good session this morning, because this can save relationships. you listen and effectively get this. There is something going on inside of him. Something inside of him. Whenever you are in a position and you are willing to express your freedom, but you're hindered in expressing it, it's something going on where you want to express it. Maybe he has lost trust because maybe there's been someone in the previous times that said they were going somewhere and didn't actually go there. So now they don't trust. So now everything is questionable. But that doesn't mean that I'm wrong. I'm free. But it's questioned in the point of you haven't healed. You haven't been brought past that place. One of the things that I'm learning is in effective communication, there has to be a trust. People that do not know how to effectively communicate do not have trust. They don't. They do not know how to trust. In effective communication, trust is a have to have, because it gives me the ability to be able to say whatever it is that I need to say. Because I can trust that you are going to be, either way, I'm going to be safe. So there's a lack of trust wherever there is a lack of communication, effective communication. When they're beating all around the bush and you got people that, they literally, every time you turn around, they up and they down. But them people are not bipolar, y'all. Those people are not crazy. They are medicating these folks and different things to try to bring stabilization to them. My advice to anybody is to fight to get off of that type of stuff and to regulate your mind. God is a mind regulator. He's a mind regulator. I know he is because I got off. So I know he's a mind regulator. But it puts, you see bipolar people, every time you turn around, they in, they out, they this and that. Dumb folk got trust issues because they do not know how to effectively communicate. They don't know how to effectively communicate. They are bottling up things and not effectively communicating, and they're literally internally running themselves crazy. Internally, not being able to effectively communicate will run you crazy. Now, it will affect the other people in a certain aspect because, they're trying to figure out what's going on with you. I mean, and they like, what's wrong with them? Dang, man, he got no good sense. They're thinking in that context of that. But internally, it's actually running that person pure crazy. Because of the fact of it's up and down, it's up and down, it's up and down, it's up and down. It's up and down, it's up and down. There's no stabilization, and so it puts you in a place. And so what has happened is I'm actually dealing with something that has come from the past. I can guarantee you. It's something that has happened in the past that is triggering that. That's causing that to happen. Now, what way? Because I'm a communicator. I'm working on becoming more of an effective communicator. This is a way that I would say that could be handled in order to bring us to a better place with each other. Not him hide the fact that he has the insecurity. Not him hide the fact that he has the distrust, because insecurities is a lack of trust. That not he hide that he has that, but rather bring exposure to that by talking and to say something of the sort of, Not that I'm trying to say that you are, you're doing something, or you're wrong in what you're doing. But for some, but that triggers me. And then why? Because, 20 years ago, I was dating a chick, and she told me that, she was going on vacation with one of her girlfriends or however and all, but come to find out they went with two guys. It was two guys there. So it just put me in a place where I was, kind of just, my mind thinks that nobody is telling the truth concerning, when they go places. If they don't have their significant other with them, then it makes me automatically think that they're telling lies. Okay, well, see what that has done? That truth now literally has opened up a door for communication to take place, and for there to be, on my part, something that can bring a soothing, and then something that can bring a healing on his part, in order to cause him to be better. But now, check this out. But if all you do is throw jabs, because that's what he's been doing. He's just throwing jabs. He's throwing jabs. He's not effective communicating. He's just throwing slick shots, man. You know what I'm saying, man? You know what I'm saying, man? You going, man, again? All this kind of stuff like that. You throwing jabs, and then the attitude is changing too. The attitude shifts. I can feel when the attitude has shifted. So if you stay right there in that place, so I want y'all to hear me. I'm recording this morning too, y'all. It's gonna be on my podcast, so you can go back and check it. Y'all better get with me on this, because I'm going somewhere. I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna come out of this mess with this communication stuff. If he stays in that place, now let's talk about my position, where that puts me. It's going to make me not want to be bothered with him. It's going to make me not want to be bothered with him. Now, somebody tell me, why would I fight with not wanting to be bothered with him?
Good morning, because you're at your freedom. I mean, this is a part of you that you've been cruising, and as a single independent woman, you found glory and peace in it. And that's something you want a part of your life. And you shouldn't have to battle with no person in reference to something that God has allowed you to be able to do, in certain times. And that's a part of you.
Yeah, but check this out. That's not something that I have to do. That's something that I've been afforded to be able to do. But cruising does not trump a relationship. Cruising does not trump a relationship with me. It doesn't. It does not trump. I want y'all to hear me. That's why I said y'all got to listen to me today. I'm going to try to help you as best I can. I want to save some marriages. I want to help the single people to understand, to know how to effectively communicate. Cruising is not something that I have to do. I'll tell you why. Anybody else, before I say, anybody else want to take a good point, Rhoda? Anybody else want to take a jab at why you think it will make me want to push away from him?
The fear of making you feel like it's like a scaredness that comes with it, or feeling like you're not going to be able to do anything.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but that ain't no issue for me either. That's not an issue for me. Huh?
Insecurity? He's being insecure.
There is some insecurity. I feel like it's come from a place of insecurity. Remember, insecurity is no trust. So yeah, I feel like it's insecurity. I feel like that. But I was talking, I'm saying, like, what is it that would make me not want to have anything to do with him? And I'll tell y'all.
Maybe freedom.
No.
Because you've already overcome the rejection, the hurt, the pain from a past relationship, and you're not living in the past, living in the present and the future. And he's still dealing with past hurt, insecurity, immaturity, and just not trusting. But you're free.
And it could also, excuse me, I'm sorry.
You good.
Sometimes it can be what a person have done so much too that puts them in a fear place of not trusting someone because of their actions and what they have done.
Mm-hmm.
That's bringing baggage into a new relationship.
I hear.
Yes, and it does happen. It does happen.
I hear everything that y'all saying. But that's not my reason for struggling with not wanting to deal with him. That's not my reason. Yeah, he got the insecurities, I believe. Yeah, the lack of trust. Yeah, he has all of that. But there's one thing that puts me in a place where I struggle with saying, nah, I'm gonna have to cut him off. One thing that makes me struggle in that area.
Is it from the past trauma stuff that you have dealt with?
It has nothing to do with me.
Okay.
He hasn't taken the time to know you, so he even know how you're gonna handle the situation. He don't know that he hasn't given you any type of location besides his actions, but he hasn't verbally told you where he is. And this is a place he kind of will have to invite you into. You don't want to have to force your way into that.
Now Sharika is she in the zone? She's somewhat in the zone. Okay. I'll tell y'all. I mean, like I said, y'all gave some valid points. But what y'all did was gave symptoms. You didn't give the root. The root is what caused me to struggle with him is the fact of he has a lack of communication. I don't have a problem with none of the symptoms that he deal with. That's human nature. That's us as a people. I'm a pastor. I'm called to deal with issues, man. I'm graced to deal with issues, but I can't deal with your issue if you don't talk about them.
That right there. Ooh, that right there.
I can't do nothing with them if you won't talk to me about them. And so throwing jabs, again, you know what I'm saying, man. You man, I think you got a cruise addiction. You know, that's the stuff he says. Instead of just saying, you know what, 20 years ago, this woman told me she was going, her and her girlfriend were going on a trip and come to find out 2 men went with them. And that did something to me. So then I know how to soothe that part and to assist in his healing. But I can't if you won't communicate to tell me why you were in that place, what happened to get you in that place. See, that's effective communication. That's talking about things. And that comes from, especially if you desire to have something with the person. If that person is someone you want to keep around, you need to learn to respect that relationship at all costs. And respect that relationship in a position of, I may have to be vulnerable. I may have to talk regarding some things. To respect it at that place. I've got to let them in, I gotta tell her. Because if I don't tell her, then I'm gonna be pushing her away with all them jabs I'm doing. I'm just gonna be steady pushing her away because she's only gonna take so many of those hits before she just say, man, forget that. Forget that. And then you done mess around and lost her and you have an interest in having her. She can't deal with you when she had an interest in dealing with you because she wouldn't even give you attention if she didn't have interest. But when you don't effectively communicate, you lose relationships. Y'all better hear what I'm saying to you. You lose good relationships when you don't effectively communicate. Y'all better hear what I'm saying to you this morning. You will lose relationships. You'll lose some good ones too when you don't effectively communicate. When you won't talk. Once you determine that someone is valuable enough for you to want to keep, it would behoove you to turn on effective communication immediately. Go on and turn the valve on. Go on and turn the valve on. Once you decided, and we all know who we decided that we want to keep or not. Once you made that decision that this is someone that I want to keep in my life, this is someone that I believe is beneficial for me and I'm beneficial for them. It's a two-way street. You need to automatically turn on the effective communication. Now, I'm going to drop down into another gear. Effective communication begins with being open. And once it begins with being open, then it moves into vulnerability. Being open. Open in the context of we chit-chat and we talking. Getting to know you, you're getting to know me. When is your birthday? What type of food? This is openness. What type of foods, it is that you like to eat? How many kids do you have? That's the openness. That is, I'm open to begin to explore things, but I'm effectively communicating as well. How many kids do you have? I have 3 kids. Well, if you notice, I didn't lie. I have 3 kids, so that's open. I've given you insight into something regarding me. Where do you live? I live in Kinston. Okay, that is open. That's insight into me. So what I'm saying, what's your mom? My mom's name is Alice. My dad's name is Willis. Well, see, that's open, but it's really not in a personal space, but it's an open space as to where it gives an avenue for us to talk. And it's an open door for us to begin to build towards some things. So in any effective communication, in any relationship that you desire to keep, you're going to have that openness. That openness is the door opening. And then it's going to go into vulnerability. If it is a relationship that you plan to keep, if it's someone that you plan to have in your life, you are going to have to go into a place of vulnerability because of the simple fact, the deeper y'all get with things, the more intimate things are going to become. And intimate doesn't mean having sex. That's not it. Intimate means in you become in my heart and I've become in your heart. It's a Jonathan and a David thing. When the scripture talks about, I think it's 1 Samuel 18, how Jonathan and David's heart were knitted together and they became one. They literally became the heartbeat of one another. Jonathan protected David. David protected Jonathan. Their hearts were knitted together. Their vulnerability comes in after that. And the reason that you have to be open to being vulnerable in that place is because in order for me to have an effective relationship, a great relationship with you, I've got to let you've got to know what's going on with me. Because if you don't, then it's going to keep, when my triggers come, you're not going to know how to deal with it. And it's going to set us off every time. So let me give y'all an example. You hiding the fact that you got raped. You hiding it. You got raped. You hiding it. You've been hiding that for years. You ain't want to tell. You ain't want to tell nobody you got raped because it was somebody in your family that did that to you. And you ain't want to tell it. You're hiding behind it. So you get in this relationship and you decide that you're not going to tell him about these things. But then every time he makes a certain move, it triggers that part of you regarding that rape. And so then you start behaving a particular way, and now he's lost. He's oblivious to what it is as to why you are acting this particular way, because you haven't told him that you got raped so that he could administer some healing to you, so that he could literally help you to get past that part, to realize that I'm not the one that's going to do that, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm trying to do to you. But you think because you haven't told it, you're hiding it, that, because what we've been told is, you don't tell all your business, asking whatever. Well, listen, let me tell y'all something. Don't buy into that. Please, 100, don't buy into that. Because it doesn't matter to me what a person knows about me. And that's just the honest to God truth, because I believe in Revelation where it says, and they overcame him, who? The devil, by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. My testimony has set so many people free. It has made a difference in so many people's lives. It's made a difference even in the fact of talking about the fact that my mom's boyfriend was fondling me. Why? Because there's been some young ladies that have heard my testimony that have been fondled, and it brought a healing to them to hear me speak my truth. It is a known fact to that Fred Matthews, which is Labrisha daddy, he took advantage of me. Pretty much you could say a date rape that did that, and it came about. Well, that's not something that I hide, behind. He doesn't like for me to tell the truth about it. Why? Because it was something that he did that he hasn't dealt with. But me, myself, I have dealt with it. And if I hadn't, every time I get in a relationship, I would, if they made a certain move, I would think, oh, you finna try to do what Fred did. You see what I'm saying? And they don't even know what Fred done did. They just know I'm messed up. So now I'm acting a certain way with them, which will put them in a mindset of just what I told y'all a few minutes ago about me, where I was saying, like, look, I'm finna get rid of him. And you will end up losing folk because of not effectively communicating. So open, and any relationship that you see worth having, you're going to have to go into those places. It's just no way around it. You're going to have to go into those places, or you're going to always be having issues. Always having issues. Why? Because there's secrets, and there are things that haven't been told, things that haven't been communicated. They're trying to figure out, why you acting like that? And you acting like that because of something that happened some years ago, from some trigger that you haven't healed from. Won't give them the opportunity to help you to heal from it. How can you say that they're going to help me heal from it, Pastor Lee? Well, if they really love you, they will. They won't bring scars, they'll heal scars. They'll be there to help you with the scars. That's how I can say that. And if they really love you, it doesn't matter what you've had to face. They will literally be there. They will be there regardless of what. Why? Because I said this to the guy. I said this to him. I said, man, listen, there ain't nothing you can tell me that's going to make a difference to me. I don't care. 3 times he kept saying, well, you know, ain't nobody perfect. I'm not perfect. That's whatever. I took it the first 2 times. That 3rd time he said it, I addressed it. I said, please don't do that anymore. He said, do what? I said, don't be talking to me about you not perfect. I already know you ain't perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to be. You don't have to worry about living in what you've done with me. I don't care. I don't care what you've done. As if you told me, and these exact words I said, as if you told me you robbed a bank. All I want to know is any other money left? I don't care. Is any other money left? That's all I want to talk about, because we need to live off of what's left. If you got any that you had put up. That's all that matters. I don't care. I'm not here to hurt. I'm here to heal. I'm not here to drag you for what you used to do. I'm here to help you get to where you need to be. That's my purpose. But effective communication has to happen in order for you to do that. Too many people are bottled up in things and are hid in things, man. Kill that bull crap and heal. and move beyond it. People can't even respect leadership God gives them because why? They're horrible in communication. Freaking horrible in it. Horrible. Sitting hiding, sitting holding. Literally gotten in relationships, gotten married and all this old kind of stuff. Wondering why so much drama and so much stuff going on. All that past stuff. Because you're still looking at what's done happened and didn't heal from it. Hadn't effectively communicated from it. So every move that's made looks like something from the past. And then it throws you into some spiral antic. And now it's done caused some problems. Effective communication. If you have anybody in your life, hear me, y'all, that is worth you keeping, you better learn how to talk. You better learn how to talk. If they are worth you keeping, you know for a fact I don't want to lose them. I want to have a relationship with them, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a ministry, whether it is a potential husband or what have you. You want to effectively communicate. Because if you don't know how to communicate, it's not going to work. It's going to be a whole bunch of turmoil. Just a whole bunch of turmoil. Now, let me address this because I can hear it in the spirit realm. This is for the people that think, well, they just going to throw it up in my face. I don't care. I've overcame it. So what difference do that make? Let me tell y'all something. The only thing that Jesus wants you to do is overcome. That is the requirement of Jesus Christ, to overcome. Somebody go and get Revelation, I think it's 2 and 7, I think it is. Somebody grab Revelation 2 and 7 for me and get it in the KJV. Revelation 2 and 7. I think it's 2 and, is it 2 and 7? I think it's 2 and 7. Check. Somebody get Revelation 2 and 7 and tell me what it is. Let me see. Is it Revelation 2 and 7? Yeah. Revelation 2 and 7. Somebody read Revelation 2 and 7 for me in the King James Version.
That hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches. Him that overcometh will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of paradise of God.
Did y'all hear what it said? He said, to him that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit is saying unto the churches. To him that overcometh, there's an ETH at the end of the word overcome. Him that continues to overcome, and shall he eat of the tree of what? What does it say? I need to talk about that. The tree of what?
Life.
Y'all hear that? The tree of life. When you don't effectively communicate, it takes from your life. Oh, talk to me this morning, Pastor Lee. I'm coming, baby. It takes away from your life because you don't have now. Because you are bottled up in everything that you're dealing with. So you don't have a life. Because you don't know how to effectively communicate. Your words open doors just like they shut doors. To him that overcometh, he says, shall he eat of the tree of life. And he shall be in the midst of the paradise of God, it says. Look what it says. That person stays in a place with God. That person stays in a place, in a position with God. So life for you is about overcoming. How do I overcome? I overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of my testimony. What is the word of my testimony? Me not being afraid of nothing I've had to go through. That's what overcoming is. That's the word of my testimony. Not me hiding the fact that I was touched. Not me hiding the fact that I was raped. Not me hiding the fact that I was cheated on. Why? Because I'm too afraid of what somebody may think. Well, that prohibits or it hinders my ability to be able to overcome. So I don't care. What can you say? What can you say? It's not going to stop anybody that wants anything to do with me from having something to do with me. Why? Because they will love me. They will love me. They will love me. So it does not matter. That's the reason why I'm big on telling y'all all the time. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you tell me you did. We just gonna work through it. I don't care. Well, Pastor Lee, I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy. Well, did you did you hide the gun? Let's get this stuff put up. You know what I'm saying? Did anybody see you? Let's figure out what we can do to get this taken care of. That's all you're going to get. That's all you're going to get out of me. Well, you know what, Pastor Lee, I slept with Quincy. I ate oh, Lord Jesus Christ. Dude, you slept with Quincy? Woo, Jesus Christ. He didn't do you like he did me, did he? Because he was fine. That's about all you going to get out of there. And I'm going to go on about my business. Why? Ain't nothing I can do about that. Ain't nothing I can do. Ain't nothing I can do about that. Ain't nothing I can do about that. That happened. The only thing that we can do is heal from it. And I pray that you will make a vow to not do that to me again. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. I couldn't beat you up for it. Why? Because I slept with a woman husband. I couldn't be, you know what I'm saying? So I couldn't beat you up for it. I've been guilty of the same myself. So we just gonna figure it out. That's why y'all hear me say that now. But it comes from knowing how to effectively communicate. The secrets and I can't say the lies. Extract that. The secrets don't bring healing, man. They don't. The secrets does not bring healing. The secrets only causes you to miss out on things. That's all it does. It's going to hinder some great relationships out of your life because you will get them, but you can't keep them. Why? Because you don't know how to effectively communicate. Every time I get somebody, I end up losing them. Why? Because you don't know how to effectively communicate. You wouldn't have to go through as many if you learn how to effectively communicate. Because when you get one that you value and that you want to keep, you open. And once you come through the opening, you start progressing towards the vulnerability, which is the intimate stage. As to where you provide me safety. Let me break. Any questions? Any comments?
I was just thinking that it could cause people, their future wife or future husband.
Definitely.
Like communication. That's something serious, boy.
Definitely.
And if you don't know how to do it, I want to say it's a sad situation. Because you can't teach nobody that don't want to be taught. Or, some people think they know everything or, they're set in their ways. And if lack of communication is one of those ways, then you can lose a lot in life. Mm-hmm. If you don't know how to communicate well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Check this out.
Totally.
What's one of the first things that we learn to do when we're born? What's one of the first things? That's it right there. You wait for that baby to learn how to talk. To talk. God framed the world through what? What did he do?
You was cutting out, Pastor. What did you say?
God framed the world how? What did he do?
Oh,
That's right. He talked.
Oh.
He talked. Okay, so check this out. So let me show y'all something. God just showed me this. I'm finna show y'all something. Go to go to Genesis chapter 1. Let me show y'all what God just showed me just then. Jesus Christ, man, you awesome. Genesis chapter 1. Let me show y'all what the power of effective communication can do. Woo! Boy, I feel God now. You got me with this one, God. You got me with this one, God. Genesis chapter 1. Let me know when y'all there. I want all y'all to see this. I'm going to show y'all what effective communication can do. Let me know when y'all got it. Genesis 1. I'm going to start at 1. Genesis 1.
got it.
Got it.
Genesis 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So, God created. Hold on, y'all. I'm on the Zoom right now. You hear me? All right. Okay. That was Apostle. All right. So, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Check this out now. God created the heavens and the earth. So, in the beginning, God created relationship. Let's just say God created Delphine and the man that she would be married to. Verse 2. And the earth was without form, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Okay, so God done created me and this person, but the both of us got some issues. Y'all better hear the Holy Ghost. The both of us got some problems because one, hey, we without form and void, but God created us now. So I need you to know, God created us. One got without form, without being in void, and then boom, there's darkness upon the face of it. What is that? That's all that stuff that happened in the childhood. Being fondled and being raped and being picked at and all. That's all that stuff right there. And the Spirit of God, check it out what it says. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Verse 3 is when the whole situation is about to change. Somebody read the first 3 words of verse 3 for me. The first 3 words.
And God said.
Boom, there it is. Effective communication start changing everything about that situation.
Come on, man.
Effective communication started changing everything about that situation. Look at what it says. And God said, let there be light. And what the rest of it say?
And there was light.
They talked about it, baby. They talked about it. Y'all better leave me alone. I'm going to tear the world up with this communication stuff. I done told y'all I'm at the whole world with it. I'm trying to help us. You better learn to talk about it.
Thank you, Lord.
Some things ain't going to get better till you open your mouth. Some things ain't going to change till you open your mouth. You thought it was going to go away. They did that to you when you were 10 years old. You 59 still struggling with it 40 years later. Why you ain't talked about it? Effective communication. Effective communication can bring you out of a dark place. knowing how to effectively communicate can change your whole trajectory of things. Because that place was dark, it said. But once God started talking and brought some understanding, light came. The first thing you see is that light came. So effective communication brings enlightenment. It brings understanding. Effective communication does. So it's very important. If you value a relationship, you better learn how to talk. You better learn how to talk. Any questions? Any comments?
Powerful word.
Glory to God. Any other questions? Any comments? I dropped it like it was hot.
I'll say effective communication, learning how to talk, has to be with the person you in a relationship with, and not to a friend about the person you in a relationship with.
That's right. I mean, who does that?
I've had people to come to me complaining about the relationship that they in with somebody else. And I just flat out told them, you're telling me what you dislike about your partner not going to change from you telling it to me. You got to communicate with your partner. Let them know what you want them to do, what you don't like, and allow them to tell you the same thing. Because nothing can change if they don't know what's going on in your mind and you don't know what's going on with theirs. I can't give you advice on what you need to do other than tell you communicate with them and try and work things out. But you're going to different people complaining about them, nothing will ever change because you're not talking to them.
Exactly.
That's right.
100% right. It's got to be who you're in a relationship with. That's why I said you have to make a decision as to whether you value that relationship. If you value that relationship, then hey, you'll effectively communicate. You'll talk. If you value the relationship, and the relationship is going to go. Remember what I said. It starts at being open. That small conversations. But the further you go into it, it's gonna go into a vulnerable place. It's gonna go there. It's inevitable. You can't stop it. Because vulnerability is intimate. So it's gonna go into that place. It's gonna go into I'm getting to know you more. You're getting to know me more. We're establishing some things. It's gonna go into that place. But if you, always trying to fight and protect yourself from that place of vulnerability, then it's gonna be tough for y'all. It's gonna be real hard for y'all. And if you know you don't want to be vulnerable with that, you don't even need to try to go into that lane with a person. Just don't even do it. But you're gonna scar them. Your scars is gonna cause you to scar somebody else. Because they are willing to be in the relationship. They're willing to be at that place of vulnerability with you, but you still so guarded, you still so protected that they can't do it. So now you about to set them up for rejection, to have them to feel some type of way because they chipping at a wall that they can't even, they can't even get nowhere with. So it's pretty much a mutual thing. Because if you notice in Genesis 1, what we just read, when God made the difference and he brought light everywhere. He didn't just light one of them. He lit up all of it. So then God will bring a wholeness to the both of you. He will bring illumination or bring light to the both of you. He'll help them to understand you and you to understand them when there is effective communication. When you know how to effectively talk about things and not being afraid to talk about things. So what? Some things happen to you, No, you didn't deserve the things that happened to you, but they happen. Hey, what about overcoming? Why you not focused on the fact of overcoming? Why you still want to be caught up and locked up in it? I ain't studying that mess. I'm glad to be past it. I am glad that I made it beyond the things that happened to me. I celebrate that. I'm grateful because I could have still been in the moment of it, living. Why would I want to keep myself traumatized by the fact of somebody touching me that had no business touching me, and I stayed locked up mentally in that space and allow my mind to be tormented? The devil is a lie. I would much rather be on the side of overcoming, so that I can be embraced by someone that wants to touch me and has a right to touch me, has been given a grace to touch me. And his hands bring healing, not taking advantage of me, but his hands bring healing. I much rather have that than to be locked up in the thought of what went down. No. So knowing how to effectively communicate, how to deal with those things. Either you're going to trust that person is going to help you to heal you, or you're going to have to go elsewhere, because it's just going to constantly be a problem all the time. It's not mutual. It's no mutual respect. Stop the one-sided relationships, y'all. Stop that mess. Stop the one-sided relationships. It's no good. Turmoil, constantly be in the midst of it. And those are the people that have to have so much counseling all the time. Every time you turn around, it's someone, because it's a one-sided thing. Nobody is willing to see it from a whole perspective, to look at it from a angle of the both of what is going on. It's just one side. All the time. It's from this place. I'm seeing it from this place that I got locked up in. They seeing it from the place that they got locked up in, when in fact what you need to do is see it from the other person's place, so that you can show mercy and disperse grace to them from seeing it from that place. Where I can understand why you feel like that. I can see that, seeing it from their place. I can see that. And because I see that, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to trigger you in that area. I'm going to literally take myself and I'm going to cover you in that place of where that hurt or whatever happened to you. I'm going to lay over you. I'm going, literally the correct word is lie. I'm going to lie over you as a blanket to shield you and to keep you safe, so that you don't have to be locked up in that emotion anymore. I'm kind of struggling with the fact of saying that I don't want to do things to trigger it, because that means that you still haven't healed from it, if there's still something that can trigger it. So I would much rather just say, let me lie over that place, baby. You know what I'm saying? Just let me lie over that place, and let me bring some comfort to you in that area. Or even if it's in a friendship or so, or between pastors and sheep, or however, let me lie over that place to make sure that you are protected. I need to incubate you for a little bit to make sure that you can heal from that place, so you're not stuck there. You don't have to worry about being triggered in that place anymore. But what happens is people won't allow themselves to be covered. They won't do it. They won't allow themselves to be covered. You got so many opinions about how things should be, and want to dictate and set your stinking self down somewhere and be taught, be listed, get somewhere, and literally allow yourself to be covered so that you can heal in those areas, and it doesn't have to be triggered anymore. Okay, so listen, that stuff happened to me. Really, to be honest with y'all, I'm not triggered in those areas. To be honest, I'm not. I'm not triggered in those areas. And I don't say that, and I'm being all honest. I'm not saying it like I don't want nobody to think, well, you know what, she just, you know what I'm saying, she got it going on top of stuff. You don't know the process I put myself through to get to where I am. See, I don't sit around and mope about what I've faced. I overcome what I've had to go through. The time that I've spent by myself as a single person, I've literally dealt with Delphine concerning things that would have her in these positions. I don't just sit around. I don't wait for people to give handouts and all this kind of stuff and what have you. I deal with me because nobody knows what's going on with me better than me. And I ain't want to punish somebody for something that they did not do. That was Kimmy Bland that did that to me. So why would I punish this man over here for what that man did? You know, what is the point of doing that? What is the purpose of me doing that? So I chose to heal from those things. So it's like, oh, okay, then. I mean, hey, however, if I deal with you, I deal with you where you are. I don't deal with you based on what it was. I deal with you for what I see you do right here in this position, this place of where you are right here. I'm dealing with you on that area. I'm bold enough to say, listen, man, I don't care what you've done. I don't care. And I meant it. I don't care. There is nothing that anybody can come up to me to say. I don't care. As long as you don't live in that place anymore, I don't care. I don't care. Well, yeah, I broke some hearts. Okay, then. You plan on breaking mine? Because if you plan on breaking mine, I need to go. I mean, or have you decided that you ain't breaking no more hearts? I decided I ain't breaking no more hearts. Well, all right, then let's go. Let's go. But if you still plan on breaking some hearts, then I need to break out of here. That's what I need to do. Because I can't do anything about what you did. There has to be something in the area of redemption regarding what you did. Don't come bother me about what I did. I don't want you don't go asking nobody stuff about my past and stuff that I did. Look, don't do that. Because I'm not going to do that. Don't do that. It's effective communication. You deal with people from the place of where you are. And if you know how to effectively communicate, you can build from where y'all start and go forward. You can build from where y'all start and go forward. But if you do not know how to effectively communicate, if you have not healed from those old wounds, that bull crap coming in now. It's coming in now, and it'll cause you to lose someone that had the potential to be valuable. Well, I don't care. You got some of these slick folks that say stuff like this right here. Well, the Lord will send somebody else. Yeah, the Lord will send somebody else, and you're going to go through the same thing with them because it's something that you got to learn. It is a test that you got to pass. So you're going to go through the same thing with them. It's going to be the same thing with them. Why? Because everybody has issues. Everybody has a past. Unless you go and you decide to start having a relationship with a newborn baby that just came out the mother's womb, you going to deal with somebody that's got a past. You going to deal with that. So, because of the fact, my single women, and then my married person that's on here, man. Married person, man, set your house in order. That's all I can say. My single people, check this out. Listen, they're going to have a past. You got one. That ain't the part you called to. Sting that future. Sting that future. The earth was without form and void. That was the position that it was in. But baby, when Delphine showed up and began to speak, life came to it. Things it could not do, it now do. Things it felt it could not be, now it is. I'm going to rest my case, y'all. Any questions, any comments, I'm going to rest my case right there.
I've had a few jobs that not talking, like husband and wife and relationships like that, but jobs lose good people, lack of communication.
Anything
And,
can
you know,
lose. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and it's like I said once before, it's sad because you can have the best person to do the best job, but the communication is lacking, and they'll leave or get upset and get fired by saying something they ain't got no business or whatever. So communication is the key to life
Mm-hmm.
if you want the good stuff.
Ain't that what the scripture
So,
said?
yep,
That's what
so
it said.
did.
It said he will eat of the tree of life.
So that word alone, the word today that you spoke is our key to a successful life.
Mm-hmm.
If we open our mouths to communicate,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of stuff we hinder inside, and I'm one of them. Because, sometimes you say, well, that was the past. Ain't nothing you can change about the past. Yes, it is. You can overcome the past if you talk to somebody about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I thank you
Mm-hmm.
so much for that word. And it means a lot to me personally.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it blesses each and every one of us that hears it, even if they have to go to the playback. Because these days and times we're living in now are crucial than ever before. And something like lack of communication is not, we should grasp that and go with it, regardless if whoever we communicate with or deal with don't get it. As long as we get it, we're going to get somebody who got it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, single ladies, we're going to keep pushing and praying, and communication is not going to be a factor in our relationship.
Mm-hmm. Amen. You will attract it. Let me tell you something. You're going to attract what's in you. You can say what you want to now, but you're going to attract what's in you. You sitting around holding a whole bunch of bull crap, you're going to get you somebody that's holding a whole bunch of bull crap. And then you're going to be fighting against each other because ain't now one of you trying to release. If you desire to be healed and to overcome, that's what will run in your pathway. Somebody that wants to overcome as well and be healed. And you'll be able to literally cover, to protect. I say to you once again, I am a covering. I am a covering. I'm not an exposer. I am a covering. But I can't cover what I don't know. I cannot cover what I don't know and what I'm not aware of. I'm not a psychic. It's effective communication. Effective communication. Learn some new words. Open your mouth about you first before you open it about anybody else. Open it about you first. What's really going on with you? Where are you for real? What's your situation? What's your angle? What's going on with you? Don't worry about trying to save the world and having to save your own soul. Save your own soul. Save your own soul. That's what the book of Acts says. Save yourself from this untoward generation. Save your own soul by allowing your soul to heal from old wounds. Look at the relationships with people that you have and decide whether they're valuable enough to keep. And if they're valuable enough to keep, check your place where you are. Where you are. You're still hanging around at the open because you're too afraid to go down into the vulnerable places. Well, you may just have to let them take your hand and to help bring you into that vulnerable place. Vulnerability is not an easy thing, y'all. It's not an easy thing. It's something I can talk about it. I may deal with it tomorrow. It all depends on how I'm going to do. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to have a meeting tomorrow or go to this anniversary. So I'll just look out for a message from me that'll tell y'all exactly what's going to go on for tomorrow. But I don't mind. I can talk about vulnerability to help you. Because it is a very strong word and it is a very, very, very scary word. It is. Vulnerability is scary because it means to be cut open. That's what it means, to be cut open. So that means there's nothing hidden inside of me. So you're going to see the little girl that's in there scared as hell. You're going to see the pain the little girl endured. You're going to see the fears that the little girl has. You're going to see every bit of it. So I cannot tell y'all that it is an easy place. It's not. It's not. But in order for you to conquer vulnerability, you're going to have to take somebody's hand and let them help you in that place. You're going to have to. You're not going to go into vulnerability by yourself. I can promise you that. Or, I'm bold enough. I'm just going to walk on in there. The devil is a lie. You ain't going to do it because it's scary. It's scary. You're going to have to let someone that's already been in vulnerability to grab hold of your hand and bring you into there. That's the only way you can get in. That's the reason why Jesus said he was the door and he brought us into a place of vulnerability because he already went there. For we have not a high priest which could not be touched, vulnerability, by the feeling vulnerability of our infirmities. For he was likewise tempted as we were, yet was without sin. He became vulnerable in order to bring us. So you're going to have to take somebody's hand that has been through vulnerability and been in there, and they're not afraid of it because they've overcame it, and let them grab you to bring you into that place. Or if not, you're going to always be hanging outside the door, or you may step inside. You may step at the opening, but you won't ever progress on down into it like you need to. Because you're always going to be sitting there babysitting your fears and always sitting there babysitting. And people that are in that place want to be babysat all the time. They can never grow up because they want to be babysit. They're spiritually and physically developmentally delayed. They can never grow up because they're always sitting right there babysitting all of their hurt, babysitting all of the pain that happened to them because they're afraid to go on down into vulnerability, to trust the hand that's been extended to them and to trust that hand to take them on into vulnerability so that they can heal. It is scary. I will tell you that. It is scary, y'all. I will not take that from you. I will not take that from you. It is a scary place. It will scare the hell out of you. But you have to bring yourself to a place of trusting that person, that arm that has been extended to you, that hand, to take a hold of it and let it bring you into this place so that you can heal. Because that place is where you're going to be able to shed all the stuff that happened to you as a little girl. You're going to be able to shed all the stuff that happened to you in those past relationships, all of the insecurities and all of the doubts and fears that you picked up. You're going to be able to shed them in that place. But if you won't go, guess what he at? You still got them. You still got them. You still got them. So we got to go there. We've got to go there so y'all can look forward to us going there. So we got to go there. I'm going to extend my hand to help to get y'all through it if you will let me. Those dark places and those hidden places that you got, because you got them, to help you. If you'll let me, in Jesus' name. Father, I thank you for your word. I thank you for allowing us to talk today, for meeting with us today. I thank you just for who you are and just for how great you are, Father. You're just awesome, and I love you. I honor you. I respect you, and I adore you, God. And I thank you, Lord, that you will write the things that have been spoken today upon the tablets of our heart, that we might not sin against you, that there are some things that have been said, some things that were spoken, that have brought some light to some things, and that we would consider being in a position of where we would literally allow you to heal us. We don't want to lose any more relationships. We don't want to lose ourselves anymore. So we're bringing ourselves to a point of putting you first and putting ourselves in your hands for healing. I thank you for what it is that you are doing. I thank you. I love you. I praise you. Bless all those that are under the sound of my voice. Let these words that have been spoken today continually resound within them to bring some major differences to their lives. And I thank you for that in Jesus' name. Amen. All right.